Yeah.
Nice, dude. So you just like to exploit young Asian children?
When I can, yes.
Well, I have Adidas, Under Armour, and Nike. So I think I'm
sure
right
you're
there with
doing
you.
None of the same.
Yeah, that is one thing that always is interesting to me. These companies that are woke, and like nobody, like, or even people, and then they're like running around in their Nike and Under Armour and Adidas stuff, and it's like, do you really know what you're doing here?
It's all about convenience in a variety of opposing standpoints.
Right. It is. I don't get me wrong. I'll probably always wear some sort of Nike, but
Yes.
there probably should be some look into their background, their history, and their foundation of their company. I'd have to guess.
Yeah, they could commit genocide. I'm probably still going to buy their products. Not going to lie. Like, I'm just going to turn the other cheek on that one. But I'm also not going to simultaneously sit here and preach all these sorts of justices and freedoms and stuff, just so that I'm not a hypocrite in that sense. I'll just be a hypocrite in other senses.
I mean, God, those dry fit shirts, they really know how to sew them up.
I know. So dry, so fit.
Well, it's good on them. Nicely done. They do good work.
Yeah.
Welcome to the locker room number 45 here on the Spokane Talk set. This is the Kenny Easley edition.
Yeah, I was racking my brain. I don't think there's any other notable like Pacific Northwest athlete that wore 95.
So I do have a couple here that's not Seahawks related. There's only one other Seahawks player in history to wear number 45, at least in the regular season. I did not write his name down because he was absolutely worthless to me.
Okay.
But I do have some interesting Mariners players here, number 45.
Okay.
The first that I cannot forget is back in 1977-78, Mariners' inaugural season. Mariners had a guy wear number 45 by the name of Dick Pull. It's literally right.
We are the worst.
He is the first Mariners player to ever wear number 45. The other important players to wear number 45, Ryan Franklin, around the turn of the century, big on that 2001 record-setting baseball team. Some other ones who were not so instrumental in the Mariners' success, Eric Bedard, wore number 45.
Eric Bedard.
Yep, haven't heard that name in a while. Actually, I did make an Eric Bedard joke at my softball game last night.
Wait, hold on. Wasn't he like the backup first baseman?
No.
Eric Bedard. Oh, he was a pitcher.
Yeah, he was the pitcher who was really good
never
for
mind.
the
Okay,
Orioles.
okay.
We traded for him. He was going to be really good, and he sucked.
Broussard is who I'm thinking about.
Ben Broussard.
He was good.
He was okay. He was really good with the Indians. He came to Seattle, and he wasn't as good as he was.
Okay,
as
but
usual.
we simultaneously had like Willie Bloomquist and Ben Broussard.
If you're about to say something negative about Willie
No,
Bloomquist,
absolutely not.
okay.
No. I loved both those guys.
You're a big Willie guy.
No, I like Broussard better than Sexton most of the time because Sexton, I don't know.
I'm a big Richie Sexton guy.
That's fair. I feel like he needs a T in the name.
That's just because Sexton's a more common
Yeah.
last name. There were twins with the last name Sexton. They went to my high school. Interesting fact.
That's wild.
Yeah, very interesting fact. Other couple players here. Hector Noesi, trash. He really sucked. Drew Storen in 2016 was good with the Nationals, sucked for the Mariners. And then recently, over the last couple seasons, Christopher Negron, and this season, Domingo Tapia, who's actually a decent little pitcher.
So basically, thank God for Kenny Easley, or else we would have had
We'd
to
have
lead
nobody.
the show with one of those
nobody,
names.
absolutely nobody. So not good. Actually, I wonder if the Sonics had any. We should probably look at the Sonics players more often, keep their spirit alive.
Sean Kemp +5.
Bob Rule, whoever that is. Sean Kemp +5, nice. Yeah, there's not many. No, nobody. Literally, no. I don't recognize any of these names. That's all right though.
Yeah.
We'll survive. All right, I guess we can keep rolling here.
Oh yeah.
I'm your host Justin Reed. I guess I should, in case you didn't know, in case you're here and you're like, well, who are we watching here? And
Wait, did we get our lower third? Did we get,
oh yeah,
did we get those?
has our lower third?
We can't go without those. Check this shit out.
Oh, okay. There we are.
Yeah.
There we are. There's Andrew Tenney, my co-host.
Hi.
And he has an awesome ad here to read for you. Probably my favorite company in the country, actually in the world.
This actually would have been the perfect time for me to try to just like blind it and just like go off of memory. But maybe we'll wait till 50. 50, I'll give it a shot.
50, you'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right.
But this show, as you guys know, favorite company in the world, sponsored by Lucky Bird. Shout out Scott Cook, great businessman.
Better than Nike.
Better person. Anyway, Spokane-based e-commerce and digital marketing company dedicated to helping local companies scale in the online world of e-commerce and digital marketing. We want you guys forever and always to visit luckybirdbrands.com to have a down-to-earth, no-pressure conversation about your digital marketing and e-commerce strategies today.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Yeah, the Lucky Bird does. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do.
And speaking of lucky, if you want to be even more lucky, head out to Northern Quest this fall. They do not sponsor the show. I'll make that very clear. I'm not just giving them a shout out, but if they would like to, we're always listening. But they are going to have sports gambling happening at least by the start of the 2021 NFL football season. It'll be taking the place of, I don't even know what the name of that lounge is out there, but not Epic, not the one with all the big giant TVs where you can get food and all have fun and do trivia and stuff, but the smaller one off to the side that looks like what a sporting, like in my mind, it looks like where I'd be sitting if I was betting on horses. I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly. No,
it's
totally
exactly
has that
what
essence to
vibe
it.
I get from it. So that'll be happening. So that's gonna be really cool. I'm excited to, for the first time ever, have the ability to bet on sports. This state sucks, and so we haven't had the opportunity to, even though it's been legal for 3 years on the federal level. So this will be our first opportunity. They're probably going to create an app that will only be accessible or operational, however you want to say it, when you're on casino grounds. And you cannot bet on Washington State college athletics. So no betting on GU, no betting on WSU, UW. Nor can you bet on semi-pro teams. So no Spokane Indians, Spokane Chiefs, Everett Aqua Sox, anything like that. But I'm pumped.
I'm scared.
It is.
Now it's a reality. Like it's been tempting
Right.
for so long, and I've been so jealous, especially being a stoolie in a sense and being a big part of my take guy. And it's just like they make it seem as if it's like the best
Right.
thing in the world. I know that
Easy,
obviously
makes so much
the
money.
other side of the coin, it is the worst thing in the world
Right.
simultaneously. But now that it's a reality, I don't know. I gotta figure out. Okay, so over under really easy, money lines really
Yep.
easy. I still feel like I don't fully understand the rules of the spread. Do you?
Yes.
The
So-
pluses and the minuses always throw me off.
Right.
I
because
understand covering.
minus is the when you're minus, you're the favorite, which is weird. It's kind of backwards.
Okay, yeah, that's
So
okay.
if you're the favorite by -10, you're expected to win by 10.
Okay, that part, yeah, that part I get.
Right.
But you can take,
The over, the under.
yeah, but you can take.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like how much money you make by. It's really
No, it's
complicated.
about which part you're betting, because you can take either team and still have like the minus next to it, or still have the plus next to it, even though it might correspond to
Right,
the
I think-
underdog, and you take the.
Yes, I think that just shows. Yeah, that part I do have to kind of look into a little bit more.
I need to go on YouTube or something. have
Reddit.
some, like, yes.
Go do all your learning on Reddit. I think is what the kids are doing nowadays.
Anyway, I might give it a whirl. this
Yeah,
fall.
no, I'll definitely be out there. I'd like to go out there like once a month, maybe, but like set myself like $100 limit or like I don't know how much. If I'm really good at it, which I know I will be. No. I'm gonna make so much money. I'm literally never gonna do the show again because I'm gonna be just way too rich for you guys after all this sports betting becomes legal.
Yeah.
I'll start my own company.
I know I'll throw down once, lose, and I'll be like, not again.
Like
I'll
no,
be out.
I am out on sports
That
gambling.
was exhilarating, fulfilling,
that was-
and
That was so much fun, and when I lost all of my money. 1-800 gamblers if you do have a problem.
Yes.
Out there. I also was just recognized as one of Spokane Talk's biggest fans on Facebook. Guess I've shared enough
Shout
shows.
out.
It only took 45 shares for them to recognize me as a top fan.
oh yeah, I was reading you while I was peeing in a urinal.
Oh yeah, my
Yeah, your story.
my Worth Twins story.
Yeah.
Well, how was that even set up? Like, was it?
It was
put
just there's a
newspapers on the
cork
wall?
there's a cork board over the urinals
Where
in
at?
the Manitou Country Club. And
Where you work?
No, I was just there because I have net worth.
From
and
all your
so
sports gambling.
So yeah, and I thought when I looked at it initially, because I was like, "Whoa, paper! It's got to be from like 2007. Like
Hey.
I don't see this
Hey.
substance anywhere. Like
What?
we have no trees left. How are they pulling this off?" And I was looking down at everything, and it was like by Justin Reed, and I was like, "Holy shit! Wow, look at that!" So
Yep.
thank you for giving me reading material while
Yeah,
I
of course.
urinated.
Oh yeah, happy to help. That's that's about that means I've made it big time for sure. I've made it big time
Yeah.
now. Yeah, Sam's not here. Vinny is running our show as the producer, so Sam is commenting here saying you guys like sports or what? Nope.
Or what? What's McWhippy up to?
He said hello. My Wi-Fi is being annoying, so I may not be able to stay in stream.
Shit.
That's unfortunate. That's all right. Zach Fossen looks to be Vinny's buddy. We are doing well. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So good.
One thing I forgot to put on the roundup or run down here is the Mariners, which I do want to talk about since today's a very large turning point in this franchise's history. It's kind of like the culmination of this rebuild that's been happening for the last 6 seasons. I shouldn't say culmination. I should say almost the start of the apex. Like this is a big first day. The reason for that is 2 of the Mariners' top 4 prospects will be making their MLB debuts tonight. We'll start with Logan Gilbert, who will be on the mound. Really strong pitcher, a lot of movement, a lot of speed on his pitches. He's projected to be here now, so he's on schedule. The bigger one, of course, is Jared Kelenic, who we got in the trade with Robinson Cano, as well as Edwin Diaz. Went to the Mets. Mets traded him. Mets fans are not happy that the Mets decided to trade him because he is the 6th ranked prospect in baseball. He'll be starting in left field tonight. This is a big day. I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
You should be.
Because, granted, it's not like if they have a bad day today, like they're going to have a bad career, but like –
And the Mariners are in mid-season form. I mean,
right
at this point, because are they 1 game below 500 now, or they fall down to 500?
I don't know where they're at right now. I watched the game last night. We were at the Screaming Yak after our softball wins.
Nice.
And I watched them just get smoked by the Dodgers, which was definitely to be expected.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know where they're at.
Urias just cooked them.
I wish I could figure it out. But so yeah, big day for the Mariners. They're going to be fun to watch for sure. This is probably the most excited game I've been for a game in a while. But God, I'm nervous. So nervous.
So what's a realistic expectation? Let's assume that Kelenic plays 100 games, 110 games.
Yeah, because we're 40 in?
What sort of stat
No,
line do you think would be a reasonable expectation for him?
My hope, I'm going to go with my hope in what a solid season would be. My hope would be he bats over 300. He bats over 300. He plays really good defense, and he belts like 15 homers.
Okay.
Maybe 20. I'd say 20 because my realistic expectations are like 275, 280. Actually, I mean he's a big time prospect. Like he should come up and produce.
Okay.
It might take him a little bit to get going, but he should be able to produce. Logan Gilbert just being a pitcher. I mean, it just takes longer for him to get acclimated. I would like to see 270, 275, and 15 home runs ish, somewhere in there. But he's gonna be fun. He's very competitive. He wanted to be up here after spring training, but the Mariners had to manipulate his service time a little bit legally. But they does standard club control for a little longer, so that'll be a big time game tonight, 7:00 against the Cleveland Indians. So tune in if you'd like. Sam would like to know what your favorite sports movie of all time is.
I'll be honest, I don't really like sports movies that much.
Really?
Yeah, they're not
That's a take. That's a take and a half.
Because they're all cheesy as shit. And
that's fair.
I can
agree on that.
I can't do Hallmark-esque movies. I mean, even if it's not, actually put on by like Lifetime or Hallmark. I don't like stuff with happy endings, or if it's a happy ending, like there got to be losses along the way and losses that you actually like care about and that aren't just, very unimportant characters just getting swiped for the sake of it.
All right.
Probably Space Jam, maybe.
That's what Sam said.
Maybe The Blind Side, just because Sandra Bullock was blonde. Yeah, I don't know. Not
okay.
Definitely not movies that I go back to.
I'm gonna go quick here. I'm gonna go through and you say yes or no. Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Sandlot.
Never seen it. That kid's got a lot of.
All right, Vinny. Let's stop the show. We have to go watch the Sandlot.
I've seen like the last 15 minutes. They get chased by a big dog.
No,
right?
that's not the last 15 minutes.
Oh.
What?
They got chased by a dog, though, right?
Yes.
There's a dog over the fence.
Oh my. Okay, I need a new co-host. This is not gonna work. This relationship is not gonna work out. Wow. All right. Fair enough.
Oh, The Longest Yard was all right for Adam Sandler.
Oh, I love The Longest Yard. What else do we got here? Coach Carter.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you better be careful. What else do we have here? I don't know if I've ever seen Ali.
I haven't either.
I feel like I should though. That looks really interesting. The Karate. There's The Blind Side. I do like The Blind Side. It's really funny because Tim McGraw is his dad,
Yeah, I know.
which is a very interesting style there. Dodgeball.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a sports movie, and don't even say otherwise.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
Yes.
It's a good movie.
Yes.
Okay, good. I mean, you're really on thin ice. Blades of Glory isn't really a sports movie, but I like it.
Oh, Invincible. I would have
Okay,
said
that's a
Invincible.
great
I would
movie.
have yeah.
Invincible's
I
a great
forgot about
movie.
that.
Talladega Nights. I don't know. Remember the Titans?
Absolutely not. Do not like that movie at all.
Wow, I'm
I
learning a
really
lot.
don't like that movie.
Cool Runnings.
I don't even know what that is. I haven't seen White.
I saw Cool Runnings probably 7 times in my high school career, or in my schooling career. Everybody loves playing Cool Runnings in the Meat School District, I guess.
I haven't seen White Men Can't Jump, but
I
I've seen like
haven't
one
seen that.
scene and I was intrigued.
Rudy.
He was better as Sam.
Yeah, I was figuring that was coming. Let's see. That was the original Longest Yard. Okay, there's a lot there. That was a nice little. Oh boy, what? Okay, Sam is not happy with you. He is not happy. Waterboy.
Oh no, I don't like when Sandler does like the voice. No, I can't do it.
Oh.
Also, Sam, if you're gonna get heated, why don't you actually
my
like show up
God.
to work?
Yeah. Ooh, Gridiron Gang. That's a great one. My buddy AJ.
I just got a package. All right, we should get this back on the rails.
Gridiron Gang.
I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that in my life.
Really? Here, it's with The Rock. Here we go. And Exhibit. You've never seen this movie?
No.
Oh. Get a life, dude.
If The Rock has hair in it, I probably haven't seen it.
I don't. Did he have hair? Oh.
Can we
A little
please talk
bit.
about something that matters?
Yeah, that's because you just know you're wrong in this situation.
I'm
Whoops.
open to being wrong. However, I've lived just a fine life without seeing a lot of these
Nope.
movies and enjoying even more of them.
Yeah, and then my buddy Scotty also said Happy Gilmore all the way. That is a great sports movie. Sam said R.I.P. I'm out.
Thanks for stopping by, Sam.
That's pretty funny, actually. All right, look, another quick mention. I'm wearing the Sounders jersey because they were off to their best start in franchise history. 4 games, 3 wins, 1 tie.
Nice.
Playing really well, actually, except at what cost? They lost their starting goalkeeper, Stephen Fry, last night. A kind of a leg whip situation. It was like later in the game, and like he jumped out for a save. So like he was kind of, his body was like that. And then a defender like whipped his back leg and like
Oh,
jacked it off,
yikes.
off to the side.
What's Tim Howard up to?
He is an analyst on Fox.
His voice,
Sports?
every time I hear it, throws me off, and it takes me like
Right.
a minute to get adjusted
I
to
know.
it. It's just like not ever what I'm expecting for him to sound like.
Yeah, I agree. But what's really interesting about the Sounders game last night, though, is they were out of subs. So they had an outfield player have to come into goalie. Or right
Wow.
back, Alex Roldan. He actually had 3 saves in like the last 5 minutes. Like he was
Wow.
really important. It was a 1-0 victory. So like he was clutch.
That's really impressive.
So that was pretty cool, but really unfortunate. We'll keep track of the Sounders moving forward. Now off to back to our regularly scheduled programming. NFL. Tim Tebow, God's child, is back in the league. I'm pumped.
Why?
I had this. Okay, so I had this conversation with in a group. It was actually an Instagram group. Someone sent that he was signing. I think it's funny. A, I think it's interesting. B, and I think C, I'm excited to see him not make a team. But I think it's a funny storyline.
I think all of those things are fair.
I think it is a funny storyline that has multiple avenues for funny, successful, intriguing storylines. For sure. Also, you know what's really people are all like, well, how come Colin Kaepernick hasn't gotten a job? It's like, you want to know the only reason why Tebow has any shot of, or the only reason why he even signed a contract? It's because of Urban. That's literally the only reason why. Like, this guy won you a national title. Might as well bring him in for training camp and see what he can do.
And Colin Kaepernick wasn't willing to come in for the veteran minimum non-guaranteed contract to play tight end.
Right. Exactly.
And he also burned his one last opportunity that he had because he wanted
Right.
to stick it to the NFL again.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, so if you really actually wanted to get back into the league, you would
had
not
the-
have
you had the
done that.
opportunity.
Anyway,
Yep.
neither here nor there.
No, I agree there.
So I do like how mad it's made everybody.
It's hilarious.
I
actually.
really enjoy that. It's weird waking up, turning on the TV, and seeing Tim Tebow across, the sports or like the ESPN tickers. It feels
Right.
like it's like 2011 all over again. I don't really appreciate that part. I'm fine in 2021. Pandemic withstanding.
Right.
It's weird. I mean, yeah, he's not going to make the roster. He's not going to do anything. There's no value that he can provide to an NFL team at this point. There's no sort of leadership. Nobody in the locker room is going to respect him. Everybody's just going to be like, dude, get out, stop.
Right.
He's not athletic enough to play tight end. He's not fast enough to do anything in open space. He did play on punt coverages back when he was – I don't remember if it was when he was with the Jets. I think so. But
yeah,
he got his ass blown up all the time on those. So
Excuse me? Interesting. He's very religious. I don't know if that happened. I don't know if that
Relax.
happened.
Relax.
Did you see the video of it said something like Trevor Lawrence trying to get the team jacked up at halftime or pregame, and then it's Tebow like pushing himself through at Florida and just trying his best to get the team motivated. Yeah, that was it's going to be a fun experiment. I mean, I don't really care. It's literally at all phases and all levels of life, it's really not what you know but who you know. And in this case, 100%. It's not how you play, it's who you know.
No, this is the epitome of it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah,
100%.
So I think that's super interesting. So I'm here for it. I think it's a funny storyline that will be fun to track. Sure.
I kind of like this theory that I heard floated out there. Not that I think this is real, because I don't think Tim Tebow's this kind of person, but the theory was that Urban gave him a contract so that Tim Tebow would keep quiet on all the blackmail material that he would have on Urban based on what happened in those Florida locker rooms and within those Florida teams. But it's like Tim Tebow's not the kind of person that would come out and be like, hey, this guy did this, and this.
Not at this point. Like if he was going to do it, it was going to be a long time ago.
Absolutely not.
But yeah,
Tebow, way to stay relevant over a decade later. That's honestly just impressive.
So what's really interesting is I wonder if they'll sign Aaron Hernandez next, as since he was a good tight end.
Moving on.
You don't think so?
I wanted to laugh at that, but I feel like I couldn't.
Am I miss? He's dead. Right. Yeah. So I'm here for it. Is essentially the full aspect. He's a very transcendentalist person, in my opinion.
Yeah, obviously that is the first word I always associate with Tim Tebow whenever I talk about him at the dinner table.
He focuses on himself. He's self-reliant. He's independent. He's doing life better than all of us.
Yep.
As usual. He's been a minor league baseball player, starting quarterback, and he has potential to be a tight end. He only has to beat out another one, maybe two tight ends to make it. He's not going to, but I would like to think that he can. All right, NFL schedule was released last night. The most important game on the schedule, since my buddy AJ is watching, is the Seahawks December 26th, day after Christmas game against the Chicago Bears. 105 on probably Fox Sports would be my guess, and by Fox Sports I mean Fox.
Yeah.
Anyway, there are other games. They have 5 primetime games, which is the max you can have, so it's tied with
they have 3 in a row, too.
Right, which is going to be a kind of a wicked little stretch. Their primetime games that are 3 in a row happen at the beginning of October. Thursday night game against the Rams, a little mini bye before Sunday night football against the Steelers, and then a Monday night game against the Saints following that. Saints are going to be weird this year. Saints had a lot of primetime games, and I'm not sure why.
I'm not sure either.
Because I just am not really expecting them to do all that well.
I really do appreciate having a mid-ish season bye for the first time in what feels like forever. Because there were a few seasons there over the past 5 years in which we were doing it after week 4 or after week 5.
Everybody just gets banged up by the end of the year. Yeah, no, that's about as perfect of a bye as you can have. It's right in the middle there. Looking at some of the other games, their first game of the season is September 12th at 10 a.m. against the Colts. Then against the Titans, Vikings, Niners, those 3 primetime games we told you about. We will see Trevor Lawrence at home, which will be kind of fun, there on October 31st, Halloween afternoon. Halloween's on a Sunday.
Oh, weird.
That's very interesting. I don't know.
I don't like that. That's not a good omen.
That's it's not great. Bad luck for sure. Then we go to the Packers after the bye, home against the Cardinals, at the football team, home against the Niners, at the Texans, who nobody knows what that's going to be.
No. The Texans might cease to be an organization at that point for all that we know.
Right.
Did you see that Washington finishes the season with 5 straight divisional games?
No, but that's going to be a very interesting NFC East. Actually, no, it's not. NFC East is still going to be hot garbage.
Well, it's going to be hot garbage, but, I mean, they could totally, take the NBA load management style and put it into practice in the NFL because the first 11, 12 weeks of the season, they only have 1 divisional game. all they got to do is win the division.
Right.
And, they managed to do that last year. Yeah. Did you notice how much more of an event they're trying to make the NFL schedule release, especially this year?
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, the schedule being released is a fun opportunity to see what's happening for your team. And, obviously it's a schedule. But it's not exciting. It's not event worthy. But it's the exact – I mean, all of these networks are doing this, though. They're making a big deal out of things that shouldn't be big deals. Like, they're literally giving these high school athletic kids, specifically basketball players, like a whole segment to announce their college they're attending. And it's like, yeah, it's cool, but I don't know. It seems to be – it's ESPN trying to get as much money as they can, and then we're going to get to this later. And then all the money that they're making, they don't give it to their top personalities, and then they leave or get fired.
Yeah.
So – yeah, that's dumb. What was it, a 3-hour show?
Yeah, I was gonna say nobody. Why would you want to sit around and watch analysts talk about what's going to be interesting?
I was busy last night, but I would have probably watched about 5 minutes and said, "I'm gonna go to Twitter and find out their schedule this way."
Exactly,
because that's what happens.
And then just make your own opinions about it, and circle whichever games you are going to be most compelled to watch. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting because they kind of been leading up to this. They kind of been ramping it up, like last year a little bit, but this year it's like, okay, they've arrived. They are officially making this as if it's first day of the NFL draft or something of that sort.
So this was kind of interesting. ESPN made their early Super Bowl picks. Oh. Chiefs over the Rams. I don't understand the Rams.
People are
there.
really hot on the Rams.
I don't know why. Stafford has never been able to. I mean, I know he's been on bad Detroit teams. But I just don't see him being a playoff-winning quarterback. He makes too many mistakes. There's no way he's able to take that Rams team to the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
I don't know. I'm kind of scared.
Fair enough. Buccaneers over the Browns. That's an interesting.
That'd be a gross color matchup.
Yeah, it would.
We gotta get away from this red-on-red thing that's happened over
good.
the past 2 seasons, and red-on-orange would not be much better.
And then I'm just gonna go quickly on these ones. Packers over the Bills, Bills over the Rams, Chiefs over the Bucks, Browns over the Rams. A lot of Rams.
Yeah, a lot of Rams.
And a lot of Browns. And I don't see the Browns with that team culture being able to win. You know what I mean? Like,
well, just because the AFC is loaded now, especially at the top. I mean, if they
I just don't see the Browns beating the Chiefs.
No, I don't.
If they meet up in the AFC Championship, the Chiefs are going to run all over them. Granted, the Browns have the best opportunity to beat the Chiefs with their defensive line play.
Well, I was going to say in their defense at large, and I mean, they have the formula, or at least they did last year, which is like time of possession and running the ball. And they were also pretty much that touchback in the divisional round against the Chiefs away from possibly winning that game. So, I mean, they did play Kansas City very well at Kansas City in the playoffs. So it's not the craziest thing. They have a formula, but, yeah, we'll see when we get to, December, January?
Yeah. That's a long time. CDC says fully vaccinated people can not wear masks indoors.
Indoors?
Yeah. Wow.
I read something, and I don't remember when this came out, but it was like CDC says if you get vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask outside. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the permission. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Sports stuff, though. Pac-12 has a new commissioner. The MGM executive, George, he must be Russian, George
Costanza?
Kliavkov.
Oh, dear.
Is that how you would say that, probably? Kliavkov.
Yeah.
Kliavkov. All right. He's going to be way better than Larry Scott, so not too worried there. Anybody's going to be better than Larry Scott. All right. I think we're ready for some NBA stuff here. You want to give me some NBA headlines?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, sorry for the injury.
It makes no difference.
Right.
They were getting bounced. No. It's okay. It's disappointing. I guess it's very fitting for what the season has been and will continue to be.
Nice, beautiful bow on top.
Yeah. To be honest, there's not over the last couple of weeks. It's really, like I've said, the last couple of weeks. It's just about the seeding at the bottom and the positioning and the matchups of the play-in tournament, and then obviously the playoffs at large, 1 through 6, which are the only guaranteed spots. What's really interesting is now that the Lakers have been without LeBron. Anthony Davis has been playing pretty well and looking a little bit more of himself and back to his full physical capabilities. However, the Lakers are still losing, and they are currently in the 7th seed, which means that if all things held up and there are 4 days left in the season, Sunday will be the conclusion of the regular season, they'd be playing the Golden State Warriors. And the Golden State Warriors are hot.
Yeah.
And you know who plays for the Golden State Warriors?
Stephen Curry.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right.
who's probably going to lead the league in scoring. It's going to come down to he and Beal, but Beal is currently injured. I think that would be the intrigue for some of these matchups is really kind of the talk of the league right now because we're just waiting to get there.
Right.
It's like, please,
let's just get to the playoffs.
Yeah, like old Yeller us, just like take us out of our misery. Like,
wow.
Shoot it.
Wow.
So that's fascinating. Portland's kind of been scaling up in the West, so they're currently at 5, and so if the season ended today, they would have a first-round matchup against the Nuggets, which would be unfortunate because I think that would be a really good series. I personally kind of have hitched my bandwagon this season, especially with the season that the Celtics have had on the Denver Nuggets, because I really like Jokic.
Yeah.
I like the development of Michael Porter Jr. and what he's become, and now he's not a complete liability on defense, and has actually shown chops and the willingness to solidify his defensive game. And so I like that because that was completely absent last year. In the West, you right now have the 3 and the 6 would be the Clippers and the Mavericks, which of course would be another rematch of the first round matchup last year in the bubble. And I mean, Luka could do anything, at least within one round. He could give them problems. You would still expect LA to come out of that, but the Lakers and the Warriors, that would be awesome, and revitalizing the Steph versus LeBron feud because LeBron resents or resented while the Warriors were in their dynastic run Steph Curry because Steph Curry stole 4 years of LeBron's prime and the NBA and all the chatter that surrounds the NBA revolving around LeBron shifted over to Curry, and he took that very personally, and he is a very spiteful human.
I'd say so.
As many of us are, let's be honest. So the West is looking super interesting right now. Like, I feel bad for the Suns if they get, the 2 seed, which it looks like they're going to get, and if the Lakers end up prevailing, having to play the Lakers in the first round, and especially the matchup, because the Suns are not big at all. And Ayton, I don't think, would have any chance of matching up against Anthony Davis. Maybe Drummond, but I don't even know how much Drummond's going to end up playing in the playoffs, especially if LeBron and AD are healthy. That's the other thing with the Lakers. It's like they got to get healthy. Dennis Schroeder is out with COVID. LeBron's still out, and they haven't played together, and they're still trying to figure out their rotations and how to include Drummond with Anthony Davis if you offset him, if you play him at the same time. So there are a lot of question marks. In the East, Miami, who just beat Boston in back-to-back games, which is not a terrible surprise. They're up now to the 5th seed after hanging out at 7 for the past couple of weeks. And so right now, if the season ended today, it would be a 4-5 matchup between the Hawks and the Heat, which would be really interesting because the Heat have the defensive flexibility and versatility, but the Hawks have all the scoring. They have all the offense. And they've been a little bit better defensively under Nate McMillan ever since he took over. They're 25-11 since Nate McMillan took over.
Yeah, of course they are. Nate McMillan's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. So that would be a really good first-round matchup. You got 3-6 would be Milwaukee and the Knicks. The Knicks, I don't know. It depends on who they do end up matching up with in the first round. I'm not picking the Knicks to go in advance of the second round. However, whoever plays the Knicks are going to be absolutely exhausted going into the second round. Like, the Knicks are going to beat the piss out of you. They're going to, they're going to slow down the game. They're going to beat the hell out of you. They're going to make it so hard to score.
The old school Knicks.
Yeah, exactly. Tibbs, man. And Washington's doing Washington things. Russell Westbrook earlier this week surpassed Oscar Robertson for the most all-time triple-doubles. And so
good for him. That's cool.
Yeah, good for him. It's quite the feat, and it's nothing to shake a stick at or downplay, marginalize, too many M words.
Eminem?
Fallen Fathers Club.
Fraternity.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Screwed it up.
Fraternity.
Screwed it up.
You had one opportunity. You literally had one chance in your life.
I had one chance. I blew it.
Yeah, you blew it.
I blew it. But anyway, the Wizards are going to be fun to watch. They'll probably beat the Pacers. So there's been a lot of conversation about Russell Westbrook breaking history and just kind of the polarization and the contradiction that is the player of Russell Westbrook, because he puts up all these amazing stats. However, in the last 2 minutes of a game, there might not be a worse player in the NBA, whether it is, leaving his guy in the corner to go help double team some guy in the paint,
or to go grab a
double
rebound.
teaming.
He thinks he's going to
go grab a rebound. It takes a stupid foul and fouls out of the game. takes, a pull-up three with 20 seconds on the shot
Everybody
clock.
knows Russell Westbrook's known for his three-point shooting.
Yeah, it's amazing. It happens time and time again. It actually just happened last night against the Hawks, and the game in which he passed Oscar Robertson, it happened again. So it's just like, we know this to be true, so I think it's fair for people to criticize or at least make that qualifier when assessing Russell Westbrook and his place in history with putting up triple doubles is not an easy thing to do.
No.
Like by any means, or else more people would do it, and they do it a lot more frequently. So there is absolutely some merit in something to be said in that. However, if you want to win, I mean, the best example is the 2016 Western Conference Finals after being up 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors, the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. Yep. He had 3 games in a row in which he was absolute dog shit. And so Kevin Durant, after however many years that they were together, is just like, no, I've had enough of this. And then you bring Paul George into Oklahoma City, and Paul George re-signs. He's like, hey, I want to stay. And then like halfway through the season, it's like, actually, you know what? This sucks. I want out of this. Houston trades for Westbrook, and Westbrook gets to play with Harden for 1 year. And then Harden's like, actually, no, this sucks. Get Russ out of here. So all these superstars that have played, because he's played with some of the best talents in the league over the course of his career, and each one of those corresponding superstar players has eventually been like, enough of this. This is maddening. This doesn't lead to winning. So that's the thing.
I just want the playoffs to get here.
Yeah, no, and I'm totally in the same boat, and that's why I kind of feel bad over the last couple of weeks. There's not a ton to talk about. It's really just the seeding. That's it.
I mean, the Russell Westbrook news of him breaking up his Oscar Robinson's record is the most impressive thing.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, that's it. Harden made his return last night to the Nets, and they won.
Yeah, that's something
pretty well.
Yeah.
The Nets are 24-5 with Harden playing, and at least either Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant playing alongside him, which is pretty impressive. They've only played 7 games over the course of the season, in which all 3 of them have played and been on the court. So yeah, we'll see. But playoffs get here, Sunday get here, and let's end this.
Yep,
really bizarre, rushed, awful season.
I agree. One thing I did want to did I mention the app for the sports gambling at Quest? Yeah. Well,
yeah, you did.
Okay. Well, I'm sure.
Maybe you didn't do it on air.
Okay. Well, they are creating an app, and I just want to make it very clear. Like, I'm sure the Kalispels, they do everything really good out there. I'm sure that app will be organized and laid out very perfectly for people to understand, just like the Dewey Decimal System is easier for people to find books in the library. It's going to be that simplified, I'd have to guess.
I'm so glad you made that.
I wanted to make sure that people who watch the show know that app's going to be killer.
That was creative. I'm impressed.
So
that was a tough one they stuck you with.
I just wanted to make that very clear and apparent. Talk to me about the Kraken. Give me some. What do you want? What do you want to know?
Oh, no. What I want to know, now that you have committed to being a four-sport fan, now the NHL,
yep.
What have you thought? What have you learned about the game?
Right.
What are some observations that you have? What do you like about it? What are some things that maybe you don't like in comparison to watching other sports? I mean, what are some of your takeaways?
I know the rules.
Okay.
The rules have become clear, which has been very nice, because that's the key to enjoying something, is knowing how it's supposed to be played. I can follow the puck better, which is also very important to be able to see where your athletic equipment is. Basketball and football would be pretty bad if you didn't know where the ball was. So it's really important to know where the puck is. So that's been cool.
Okay.
And I appreciate the speed and the action that happens in hockey. There's not too many moments where there's a lull, because, you're getting subs in and out, you're getting fresh bodies out there. Even the passing is interesting to me. I'm fascinated by it. Now, the issue that I have is a lack of knowledge on players. I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around all the players. You obviously know the big ones, the Sidney Crosbys, the Ovechkins are always the first two that come to mind. I can't even remember the guy who's on the cover of NHL this year, who's probably better than both of them. Oh, God, it's right there. But, that's going to be one thing that I'm going to have to focus on, is the players and the teams. But I'm very fascinated by hockey. Connor McDavid is who I was thinking of.
Obviously.
Then obviously there's Patrick Kane of Chicago, who's also up there.
Jonathan Toews.
Right. So there's a ton of studs in hockey that I just don't know about. That,
TJ Oshie?
Yeah. Also on the Capitals.
Is Henrik Lundqvist still in the NHL?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I don't think he might be. Nope, he had to step away because of a heart condition.
Shame.
So he was born in '82, so that would have made it. He could have still been playing.
Yeah.
Especially. Okay. Yep. I didn't want to read that. That's really unfortunate. No. So I've really enjoyed my season of watching hockey. I think it's going to really set me up well for when the Kraken start. Like, I really want to go to a Kraken game within like the first month of.
It'd be electric.
That's going to be a lot of fun. And so speaking of that, the Climate Pledge Arena should be ready for the time the season kicks off this fall. I was just talking to people about this last night after when we were at the Yak. What they had to do to Key Arena to get that ready for multi-purpose use, like the fact that they're keeping the roof is awesome. Like they literally lifted the roof off of, not now, Judd, lifted the roof off of the supports and then built underneath of it and then set the roof back down. Like the fact that it's going to look just like Key Arena from the
that's
roof
pretty
is
cool.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
So because the arena and the area around the arena has really been considered like the Lebensraum for the arena, for the team, because like it's very important territory and ground for them. So they needed to make sure that it was revitalized and built up to the standards that the NHL and the NBA require.
Do they give you credit?
Sometimes.
Today, I feel like you got your credit.
So I do have to, the Lebensraum one was my buddy Mackie, who is in the Navy. He told me this when he's a big military history buff kind of stuff, and so he gave me Lebensraum, which I told him I wasn't going to do because the definition is the territory that a state or nation believes is needed for its natural development, especially associated with Nazi Germany. So just to make it clear, this was not my association with Nazi Germany. This was the first part of that definition.
Yeah, this is an edgy episode.
It is. It's a very edgy one. But it's many other countries can focus on their Lebensraum.
Yeah.
Not just Nazi Germany.
That's true. Yeah, not exclusive.
The Nazis did not utilize Lebensraum very well.
Nope.
They failed. But no, the arena's gonna be really cool. They did just sign their first player in the team's history. Luke Henman, 21-year-old center, signed a 3-year deal, an entry-level contract. He's currently a team captain, the leading scorer for the Blainville Boys Brand Armada.
Obviously.
I don't know. But he was a 4th-round draft pick by the Hurricanes in 2018. He went unsigned, so he's technically just a free agent playing semi-pro. But he's 21. The GM said that they've been watching him for a while. Like I said, he's a captain.
Do they have a coach?
Yes.
I'm just curious.
I
feel like that would.
I actually don't know if they do have one yet.
I feel like
actually,
we would start with a coach.
No, they don't have one yet.
TBD.
That's right. So they have multiple options. There's a lot of good names out there actually, and so once that becomes more clear.
I should get Toretto. No, not Toretto. That's Dom Toretto. Tortorelli.
Tortellini. You're thinking of the pasta.
No, he's the coach of the Blue Jackets. He was with the Rangers for a long time.
I'm not gonna remember his name.
John Tortorella.
That's close. Close enough. I think everybody knows who you're talking about. I have no idea. So I was
Tortorella.
Okay. So my buddy Scotty made a really good point. So United States, America, when they first came here, they didn't really utilize the whole Lebensraum strategy. It was called Manifest Destiny. I think it would be a good way to present it in a semi-positive light.
The Louisiana Purchase.
Nice.
Since we're doing a history buff segment right now, that's what I got.
That you just have the name of a purchase agreement.
All my credentials right there on the table now.
All right, that's fair. No, I think Manifest Destiny is a great comparison. Similar things kind of happen, but we called it something way cooler. It's something that sounded really cool and positive. But yeah, this guy, I think he has 20-something goals and 17 assists. So I mean, he's a playmaker. But it's cool. They signed their first player finally.
I wonder. Okay, so the last expansion team was the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and they made the Stanley Cup final in their first season.
Yeah.
So what are the odds?
Decent. I think a lot of teams saw how Vegas kind of manipulated other teams in the system to get a really strong roster, And I don't know if the NHL wants that to happen. Not the NHL, but like the teams in the NHL want to, give Seattle like a super successful roster right off the bat.
Well, why would they? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
No incentive
but
to.
Seattle has a lot of good minds, a lot of smart, analytical hockey minds working behind the scenes. So I'm pretty confident that they'll have at least a competitive first season. Because
Are the analytics nerds taking over hockey too?
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, no, they have a pretty strong analytic team over there.
Everywhere.
They are everywhere. Those nerds did become something. Nobody ever thought it was possible. All right.
So I feel like they're just ruining it for all the jocks that plagued their childhoods, and now it's like, hey, we're gonna ruin the thing that you're good at because I couldn't do the thing that you were good at.
Yeah, it's called Manifest Destiny.
Louisiana Purchase.
All right, you want some sports fact?
Yeah.
Sports
I would like a fact of
factoid.
sports.
This one was really interesting. It's not so much of a fact as much as it's it's a fact, I guess. But you'll see. Here's a photo. I just want you to look at the photo first. So that just looks like a tree, right?
It sure does,
Just looks like a tree in a park, nothing too special. That tree, I kid you not, is 150 years old, and it sits in the middle of a soccer field.
Wait, they play around
They
it?
play – that is literally in the middle of the field. They play soccer with a tree on their field.
That's so cool.
Right?
That's so cool.
Isn't that just
Oh,
bonkers?
no, I respect that.
It's a 150-year-old tree in the middle of a soccer field in Estonia.
And they're like, hey, you're just going to have to deal.
Right. And they've been playing around it for 150 years – probably not 150 years.
That's awesome.
So nearly 200,000 people from all over Europe took part in the voting of the European Tree of the Year contest. This was the winner. The winner with 60,000 votes is in, like I said, Estonia, but it's in the middle of a soccer field in Sarama, Estonia, something like that, I guess. But what's really funny is that, like I said, it's in the middle. It was the field was enlarged in 1951, and therefore it surrounds the tree. The locals who play soccer there have come to become used to it, and they know how to use the tree to complete passes.
That's so cool.
Hit the ball.
It's like a little wrinkle of indoor soccer,
Right.
just outdoors,
With
and
a
we got a tree.
a 150-foot oak tree. This story also said it offers shade to the players while they play.
As a redhead who played soccer and sports,
You can appreciate that.
Yeah.
You can thank you. Wish
Like some
all
shade.
all of your fields had trees. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I saw that. I'm like, that's one of the
I like that.
fascinating
I
things
figured
ever.
it didn't happen to exist in the United States because there's no way that we would let that be a thing.
Could you imagine the Seattle Sounders have a 150-foot oak tree in the middle of
Yeah,
CenturyLink
no.
or Lumen now? Yeah, no. I good on Estonia. That's pretty good. Okay.
Okay.
There's your sports fact of
right.
the day
I like it.
or of the week, and now we're gonna move on to some jabronis. Do you have a good one for me this week?
Yeah, I got a guy with a nose and some hair talking
looks
about
like-
basketball.
And the MVP having to be awarded in some hallway somewhere because he's not playing in round two ain't great. And in the macro wilds, when you look at the list of league MVPs over history, I say this with respect to Jokic. Historically speaking, he would be the worst one we've had in 35 years. Chris Paul wouldn't be. Chris Paul's an all-time great player. Yep. Nikola Jokic is having a great season and a very good player. But when you look at who's won the MVPs, oh, it's Giannis, it's Steph, it's LeBron, it's Durant, it's Rose pre-injury, and then Nikola Jokic. Oh, okay, that must have been a weird season. So I think even on the narrative stuff, Wild,
So I couldn't disagree with this take more than I do.
Nick Wright is very wrong.
I couldn't disagree with his appearance. I'm going ad hominem here and just like cutting him down. Like voice awful, face awful. I thought he was bald. I don't know if he got hair implants or he was just shaving his head for the longest
he was
time.
bald. He had no hair.
I don't know. How, yeah.
Wait, what else you want to tackle?
Anyway, I mean,
His
ESPN
nose?
should hire this
His
guy.
Nose.
God, no.
I'll do it. He has a big nose.
Okay, so he says all of that in disparaging nature of the season that Jokic has had, and Jokic is by far and away the best offensive player in the league this season.
Right.
He is probably the best passer in the league, and he's played every goddamn game, and he's carried that Denver Nuggets team through a ton of injuries over the course of the season, and obviously most recently with the last few weeks and Jamal Murray being out. This season was weird from every angle, every aspect of what comes with an NBA season. Awards, teams at the top of conferences, injuries, all of that. We knew it was going to be strange. It has been that. The fact that he goes on to list the previous decades worth of MVPs and talking about how, you know, they, in comparison to Nikola Jokic, you know, stand as like giants, and it's like, these are real MVPs. And then he throws in Derrick Rose's name when Derrick Rose, if you remember that 2011 season, Derrick Rose was a recipient of the MVP in the NBA that season because he was by default, because there was nobody else. The media did not want to give it to LeBron after the move to Miami and the decision. And you looked around the league and there weren't any options. Derrick Rose's season, if you hold it up to his peers and the ones before the season and after him, no, he is the worst MVP that we've, or Russell Westbrook, but Russell Westbrook had the numbers.
Right.
I understand the argument for Chris Paul based on intangibles. Obviously the numbers aren't there, but unfortunately for the NBA, the MVP, so much it's the storyline, and it's so much based around the numbers. I think Steph Curry is a better number 2. I think Jokic should maybe even unanimously win it, becoming the second one to Steph's 2016, 2017. No, 2015, 2016.
That sounds more right.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Because 16, 17 was Westbrook.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was just an awful take, and he keeps putting up videos in response to it, and he just talks about how Jokic isn't good for ratings and how we should be talking about others, such as Chris Paul. And I don't disagree with that notion. I think all of the chatter surrounding Chris Paul is very much warranted in what he's been able to do for the Phoenix Suns, but it was just it was hot garbage, and it made me mad, and I'm not sure why, other than the fact that I don't like listening to his voice or looking at his face.
Right, that's 100% fair.
So I'm very mature.
Chris Paul is going to go down as one of the best point guards in NBA history
ever.
But I'm looking at the greatest, because Chris Paul can score, but he's not a scorer, right? Like he's a distributor first and foremost. He runs the offense first and foremost. It's just like there's a reason why John Stockton isn't an MVP or was never an MVP candidate, is because he could score. He averaged probably 15 points a game, I'd have to guess. But he's the most prolific passer of all time and probably the greatest point guard of all time, I'd have to say. Again, purely point guard statistics, not talking about scoring or anything like that. He's the best game manager because he could pass it wherever he wanted to.
And he had Karl Malone posted up
really
a block for
really helped
over a decade. So.
But again, like you said, it's numbers based, and it's based on specifically scoring. Scoring is, if you can't score, you're not going to win MVP. It's just how it goes. And Jokic can score, he can pass, he can lead a team. I mean, he checks every box of an MVP.
And Jokic can do it from every part of the floor.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Which is a very LeBron-esque kind of thing,
100%.
Right? Like LeBron can play 1 to 5. Jokic can play 1 to 5. Does he do it on the same level, same athletic level? No.
But he
does it better from a purely fundamental way,
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, he doesn't have the athleticism. It's like a Luka Doncic thing. It's kind of like a Kawhi Leonard thing. Not that Kawhi Leonard isn't a great athlete, but the way that he gets to the rack and the way that he creates his space isn't from athleticism. It's using his body. It's using his broad-ass shoulders. And there are just different ways to go about it. And obviously, with Jokic's physical composition, he's not going to get to it like a Westbrook or like a LeBron or like a De'Aaron Fox or anything like that. Anyway, that's my jabroni, is Nick Wright. Stop what you're doing.
I agree. All right, I'm going to kind of introduce mine before we watch this video here. So Taijuan Walker, first-round draft pick by the Mariners, I think in like 2013, 2010. Wow, he's old. I do not remember that. He now pitches for the Mets, so he plays in the National League. He's had some down seasons after he left the Mariners. He was a top prospect for the Mariners, and then came in, didn't quite hold up to his end of the bargain as usual. National League still has pitchers hit. Last year they did a universal DH, kind of experimented with it. I think it worked out really well. I think it's better for baseball to not have pitchers hit. And I'm not talking about like the Shohei Ohtani experiment. Like, I understand why he wants to pitch and hit. I'm talking about the National League pitchers who, when they're pitching, they are hitting as well. I think that's terrible. I think the designated hitter is the future of baseball because pitchers, can't hit, designated hitters can, and it's just more exciting. And so here is Taijuan Walker in yesterday's game. Again, like I said, he is a pitcher, and this is him hitting yesterday.
Kids Free Plus. pretty good. Maybe I'll just give up on the hitting part. Yeah, strike 3.
Are you kidding me? He literally stood there. I mean, he had zero interest of doing anything hitting related.
In baseball, it's like, why can't the youth catch on to the game?
Right. I mean, like,
That was awful.
Right?
Oh my God.
right? And
Wow.
I mean, you get some Bartolo clones occasionally,
Oh,
guys who can
yeah.
hit. Jacob
Clayton
DeGrom.
Kershaw can
Clayton
kind of hit.
Kershaw can hit a little bit. But that was
Wait, DeGrom can rake?
he can't rake, but he's not. He's not. I'm gonna
Okay,
go up
he's
here
not
and bunt.
scrub. Okay.
Right. So I don't understand baseball purists who are like, American League's the designated hitter league, National League's the pitchers hit league, and it's like, that's boring.
Yeah,
that's
that's really
horrible. Like you said, it's bad for the youth. It's bad for the game. And I mean, he had no interest. The bat was on he didn't move. He literally stood in the exact same
That's
spot.
not good for like from an optics or like morale standpoint
It's
either. Like even
stereotypical
if you are yeah. Well, they're actually like
Yeah,
leading the
yeah.
East or
They're
whatever
doing okay
division
right
they're
now.
in. Yeah, I mean that one's a dumpster fire. The Phillies are not good.
Right.
Bryce Harper, nice money,
Yeah. Good choice.
nice ring.
So
Okay.
so essentially my take is I'm not trying to be tyrannical here. Like I really don't want to like come in and be like, do this, like this is the only way. But like really, the universal DH, it makes more sense. It's not confusing because there's a lot of people who come into baseball and they're confused on the rules. Like things just don't make sense to them. And one of them is the fact that pitchers hit on in half the league, and the other half it's a random guy who doesn't play in the field. Like it's confusing. It's bad for baseball. It makes it less exciting, less hitting. And Taijuan Walker, for as much as I loved you as a Mariner coming up through their farm system, you, sir, are my jabroni because of that hitting performance or lack thereof of any
Yep.
sort of hitting.
Yeah, good one.
Yep, not too bad. So I think we're going to share our closing time, right?
Yeah, are we
All
gonna
right,
hold
go.
hands too?
Yeah, always.
Okay.
We all you can't really see our right hands, but you know sometimes that's what happens.
is
Sometimes you
my
just have to
right
work your way through some topics. Yeah, so some ESPN has really been pissing me off, specifically.
Yeah,
SportsCenter.
if any listener or viewer of the show has ever noticed that we make some not so fond comments of ESPN quite often.
I mean, they make it so easy. They make
do.
it so
It's true.
easy to just shred them to pieces, and it's a lot of it has to do with their personnel decisions, and usually it's who they hire. It's usually who they bring on. It's usually who takes a bigger spotlight from somebody else. In this case, they took someone away from us.
Well, and as of late, actually, I mean, over the course of the last
Right.
year, it's
They've taken a lot.
continued to happen. Yeah, so we're going to throw out this tweet from an absolute legend who exhibited his legendary status by tweeting a legendary tweet. So Kenny Mayne, I'm leaving ESPN, salary cap casualty. Thanks for the opportunity, Vince Doria and Al Jaffe. I don't even know who those people are.
I've never
thought
heard
it was
of
going to
them.
be like Skipper or
Right?
somebody.
Yeah.
For taking my solicitations. That's not how you pronounce the word. And then a couple names there. Basically, Kenny Mayne did his last show. Did you watch his last show?
No, I need to go back. And
He did it with Steve Levy, so that was great.
It should have been done with Neil Everett, but that's fine. I do like Steve.
Yeah,
Levy, too.
yeah. Anyway, Kenny Mayne's gone. No more. And people are pissed. I'm pissed. Justin's
You
pissed.
should be. They asked him to take a pay cut. Like they're giving these raises to people. There he is. There's
Look at
there's
that.
our boy. There's our boy Kenny Mayne.
Sexmonger,
There
yeah.
in L.A. Sports Center at night.
Another Washington State rep bites
Gone.
the dust.
Yep, another one gone. There's only one left.
Yeah, and it's like, so they're bringing in these new people, and I don't even know these new people's names yet, but I've seen their faces, and they've started to integrate them more regularly into Sports Center. Also, Mike Golick, who also was recently shown the door by ESPN, had a tweet basically saying that at this point they could start a new network with all the former ESPN employees that have been shoved out. So I thought that was kind of clever, and he's right, because Trey Wingo, no more. Kenny Mayne, no more. Mike Golick, no more. Who else?
I mean, there's a
Blanking on
lot. I mean,
some-
there's literally I mean, this goes back a little bit, but Colin Coward, they let go. What a huge
John
mistake
Clayton.
there. John Clayton. Chris Berman there for a period. He's kind
Yeah,
of
he's
back, but
back.
he's not really. Like, he does NFL Countdown.
Well, he
which is
just
an
signed a
ESPN
new deal.
exclusive. I know, but doing
Yeah.
what? Like, they're not even. I mean, I would love
NFL
it.
primetime on ESPN Plus. So yeah, great.
Yeah, like I don't understand that because half the country can't even watch him then.
So
they
the-
brought back Keith Olbermann. Pass.
gross.
Not interested
I
whatsoever.
only like Keith Olbermann in BoJack Horseman. as the whale.
Oh,
that's
right.
the news anchor.
That's
That's
right.
the
That is
only
pretty funny.
Olbermann that I will consume.
I mean, they literally have I mean, they fire their good, in our opinion, and most people's opinions, they fire the good people, and they bring on these scrubs who just really can't do it. I mean, we're looking at, so the current people here that I really appreciate still, John Anderson is still a good anchor.
Yeah.
I like Bucci, John Bucci Ross.
Oh, yeah. Steve Levy.
Steve Levy's good. Linda
Sage
Cohn's
Steele.
good. Sage Steele's good.
Yep.
Obviously, the best for last here, Neil Everett is far and away my favorite.
Yeah.
Now, and I tweeted this too when I saw the Kenny May news. I was like, if they get rid of Neil Everett, I'm done. I wouldn't be done. I'd still probably watch.
Yeah. I was going to say. I was going to
But I'd be so upset. I'd be so mad. So essentially, ESPN is what happened is they went to Kenny Mayne and they said, hey, man, you want to take a pay cut? And Kenny Mayne's like, no, what? Not a chance, because I think he's making what I was reading an article. ESPN's trying to get rid of all of their 7-figure personalities, and Kenny Mayne was one of those guys, and he said, I'm worth that, and I agree. I mean, you bring in these other people, Dan Orlovsky, like we've talked about.
The fact that Dan Orlovsky it's the people that they are replacing with these shows that they've had for such a long time, and it's just occasionally they have a hit like Jeff Passan that covers the MLB. I think he's really
a weirdo.
good.
He's a weird looking guy though.
Yeah, he's a strange looking guy. Sure, I mean he's not Nick Wright looking strange, but I mean he's got a personality and he's good and he fits. It doesn't feel like a jarring addition to the traditional ESPN formula that we've been so well acquainted with for our entire lives and dating well before we were born. It's just depressing. And I mean, you look at the shows, you look at the people that they're giving shows, they're having Greeny do everything that he can possibly do.
For some reason.
Yeah, for some reason. Stephen A. is now doing everything that he can possibly do. Shanae, it's not Ngakwe, but I forget how to pronounce her last name, but she's with the Sparks and a former Stanford graduate. She has a show with Mike Golick Jr., and it's on ESPN Plus, thank God. So, really see it, but it's just like the people that and the fact that Keyshawn Johnson gets to keep a job and also have 3 hours every morning to talk to Jay Williams and Zubin Mehenti. Like, I don't mind Jay Williams, I don't mind Zubin Mehenti, but Keyshawn Johnson was always the worst part of Monday Night Countdown, and he's stayed somehow, and I don't exactly understand how or why. You have Dominic Foxworth, who's on all the time on Get Up, and it's just
Get Up's a bad show. Get Up in general is a bad show.
I liked it when it first launched, when it was Jalen Rose, Greeny, and Michelle Beadle. And Michelle, had like a few good months in there before she was absolutely off her rocker.
I don't know what happened to her.
I don't either. And now Jalen's not even a part of the show, and Jalen's out doing a million other things. And it's just Greeny sitting in the studio by himself on conference calls with all these different people. Yeah, no, it's sad. It's bad. And also, this is kind of an aside, but did you see the thing that SportsCenter and ESPN were promoting earlier this week of like the 8 or 9 year old like rec soccer player who got cut from a team 3 years prior and then scored a hat trick against that team? And everybody was like championing this kid. It's like kids, especially at that age, like, okay, 3 years makes a big difference. Maybe he grew 4 inches. Maybe he got better.
You can get better in 3 years.
Maybe
for sure.
he was anyway, and it was just like, what are we doing?
ESPN
what
social
are we
media
doing?
is
This
a joke, actually.
Yeah,
I mean, you're seeing a lot of TikTok videos that have nothing to do with sports, like flooding their social media, and I know why, because it's getting them clicks and it's getting them views. But there's a lot of you read through the comments though, like the top comments, and it's like, use this as a dislike button. It has like half the likes.
No, I know.
It's
That's
horrible.
the only like encouragement that I find is like clicking on the replies and seeing all the top ones being like, stop,
delete this.
Yeah,
please stop. Please don't ever do this again. Yeah, ESPN is going down a path that I don't know if they're going to be able to recover from, at least for a while. But that's okay. We'll be here to hold down the fort for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll definitely hold down the fort. So next week is May 20th. I'll be here. Do you have anything going on like coming up in the summer that you don't think you'll be here for this?
Not
Wednesdays
at the
or is it a Thursday?
Yeah, it's a Thursday. Not at the moment, no. Potentially, but
probably. So this was our 45th show. We kind of did the math. We've only missed about 7 weeks, so we're doing pretty good, I think.
Well, and we haven't even hit the year mark because it was like mid to late June that we had our first episode last year. So
we're getting close to the year anniversary.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna have to do something big that show. Let's figure out exactly when. But we'll see you again here next week, same time, same place. most likely.
I'm going to hold on to my 46 player until next week because I think he's the only one.
I can't even think about it right now.
Okay,
so we'll
perfect.
See. I'll probably come up with it because I look it up because I'm a cheater. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. See you again next week.
Yeah. Thanks for watching The Locker Room on Spokane Talks. Check us out on Facebook as well as our other platforms. We want to hear from you. Join the conversation by emailing us at info@SpokaneTalksOnline.com. And for more sports news, opinions, and content, follow Justin and me on Twitter.